Here's the truth. Copying and pasting your grants almost never wins. I know you feel like you're saving time, but no matter how much you try to recycle an already written application, it's just not going to work. Funders can spot an application that's not meant for them miles away. And it's honestly one of the biggest reasons that your application will get passed over. Hi, I'm Ashley Adams with Lotus 9, where we help new and grassroots nonprofit founders better position themselves to obtain grant funding. And in today's video, we're going to discuss the 3 reasons why copying and pasting grants doesn't work, and more importantly, what you should do instead in order to get that money that your nonprofit needs. So let's be real. I know if you've spent hours, countless hours writing grant applications, or if you've paid good money to have someone else write it for you. And it seems logical, since you already have one written, why not copy and paste it into a new application? Not going to work. I know it feels efficient, but in the end, you're just going to lose money for your nonprofit. I've been there too on the other side as a grant reviewer. There was this time I sat on a grant committee with 2 other people, and we had about 5 to 7 applications to review. So the usual process is the first layer of approval is making sure all of the attachments, anything that was needed, like the budget, anything outside of the narrative was in place. So that's the first level, you kind of make it pass. The second part was where the grant reviewers, we broke up the applications and we read them. How I like to do grant reviews, if there's not any specific outline way the foundation or the funder wants it done, I usually scan over the whole thing and then I go back and read it. And this is, it's easier to do it that way for me. It just kind of gives me, I don't know, it just makes it easier for me to read it. But in this particular case, after I reviewed it the first time, made sure all the attachments were there, we went through the second layer of approval. And as I'm glancing over, it didn't appear what the nonprofit submitted was matching the grant opportunity that we were reading for. So I was a little confused, and I can see the other people I was working with were kind of flipping back and forth. They're looking at the RFP, then looking at the application they had in front of them, kind of going back and forth. So I can tell it wasn't just me. So once we went through, the applications in detail, it was 2 out of about maybe 5 to 7 applications that you can tell was written for another opportunity. I'm not for sure if they went through, if you're using Word, a Microsoft Word, and did a word search, and then, how you can replace the word that you type into the box. I don't know if they did that or they just kind of did it by eye, but what they submitted just was not jiving with what we were reading for. So, in most cases, each grant review committee has a tally sheet to say, okay, they met number 1, number 2, number 3, they scored less on number 4, etc., etc. So we went through that whole process, and those 2 applications that clearly were not meant, well, they were submitted for that opportunity, but they did not match what we were looking for. They scored the lowest because what was included in the narrative just did not match with what we were looking for. So that's one case of where copying and pasting a prior grant application into a new opportunity just doesn't work. So let's go over the 3 reasons why copying and pasting doesn't work. The first reason is that every foundation has different priorities. Depending on the time of the year, they may put out an opportunity for a variety of different things that they may not normally do it for. So when you copy and paste the application from one funder to another, you have to make sure you're speaking the same language. For example, one foundation may refer to a program as youth development, while another one may call it college and career readiness. And they may be serving the same group of people or target people that you're trying to serve with your program. But if you don't adjust the language to meet what the funder is looking for, and when I say adjust the language, I don't mean change your mission or anything like that. It's just a matter of tomato, tomato. But as a grant reviewer, we want to see how you match with us. You're coming to us for the money. So you need to match with what that foundation or funder is looking for. So what should you do instead of just copying and pasting? Look on their website, review the grant opportunity. That's your first step. And the language that's included in that opportunity is what you need to use in your submission. Then you weave your priorities and your terminology into your application. You can kind of mesh it together, but the funder and whoever's reading that grant needs to know that the application you submitted is for their foundation. The second reason why copying and pasting doesn't work is because nothing stays the same. Your organization, your nonprofit should be growing and thriving year after year. So if you're using old information that you submitted in the application a year ago, it's going to be outdated on your end. The same thing goes for the community and the clients that you serve. Nothing stays the same. So you always want to make sure that anything that you submit to a funder is updated. So because funders want to know what's happening now, what's so urgent about the work that your programming is doing today? So here's my advice. Make sure you keep your stats updated. Make sure you update your stories and make sure your context matches what the funder is looking for. You have to show them that you're aware of change, you're aware of what's changing around you, and that your organization is adapting to those needs as well. Okay, here's the third reason why copying and pasting doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use templates. I love using templates. As a former grant writer, I used to write templates for nonprofits. And the purpose of a template is so that you have all of the information about your nonprofit in one area, and you can kind of use it as a bank to where you can pull information from it as needed. Because nowadays, some applications aren't written narratives. You have to go into an online portal. So you may have to cut down some things, but you always want to make sure you use your template, because that's going to use the same language about your nonprofit going across the board. So if you keep your template updated regularly, you'll always be ready for any grant application that may come about. Think about it. If you submitted a proposal to a foundation during their last grant cycle, for whatever reason you were not selected, and it may not be a knock against your organization, it could be a shortage of funding or whatever. The point being, you were denied. If you take that exact same application and submit it to the funder again, they're going to notice it. And like I said before, everything changes. So even if you didn't get that funding last time, something had to have changed at your nonprofit, something changed down the community, something changed with the people that you're working with. So just make sure that you update it. I was at a function a couple of weeks ago with some program officers, and that was one of their biggest peeves, seeing nonprofits resubmit the same application year after year without updating it. So it's good to start off with a template, but make sure that you're customizing it to that funder and to that particular grant opportunity. So this is my last point. The best thing for you to do is stop thinking of your grant template or prior grant applications as ways to copy and paste. You should think more in terms of customizing it, copying and customizing it. Take it, for example, a resume. Back when you were searching for a job, or if you're searching for a job right now, you may have a base resume that you use, but when you're applying for a particular job, you want to customize your resume to that particular opportunity. You may have 20 plus years of experience across the board, but if this particular employer is looking for one aspect of your background to hire for, you want to focus in on that. The same thing with grant templates. Just make sure you're keeping them updated. Okay, so let's recap today's video. Copying and pasting your grant applications won't work, first, because not all foundations are the same. They have different priorities and they also use different language. You want to make sure whatever you're submitting is able to use their language and weave in aspects of your program. Nothing stays the same. Your clients don't stay the same. The community doesn't stay the same. and the services you provide should be meeting the needs of the community, so therefore your nonprofit doesn't say the same either. Number 3, templates are fine, but just make sure that you're updating them. Funders want to see growth. They don't want to see the same thing year after year after year. So here's your action step. Take one of your old grant submissions and go over it thoroughly and go through and update everything about it. Update the stats that you submitted about your program, if there were any changes with your community, any changes with your clients. Make sure you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's all I have for you today. But if you found this information helpful, please add a comment below. You can also click on the link below to join the Lotus 9 community, where we send out weekly emails and updates to our readers on updates going on in the nonprofit world. We give you tips and other solutions to help you on your funding journey. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video so that you don't miss the next video when it's released. Don't forget, you already have the passion and the vision. The only thing left for you to do is get funded. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.